Hey, welcome to Tim's Maniac Sports. Uh, okay, well, hey, this was a very great week to come on. Yeah. sorry it took so long to get back in. Um, I didn't do streaming for Tuesday because I actually Monday night because I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to give respect for what happened on Monday Night Football, and so I just didn't stream. I didn't, I just posted my prayers for the for his well being. Um, so, but let's talk about the NFC North. The NFC North has been, as everybody knows, unarguably owned in the past by the Green Bay Packers. With every now and then you had maybe Chicago peeking his head in, and Minnesota this year winning it outright, but not being able to really just. I mean, it's kind of been a little. Uh, they kind of had their butt handed to them. As far as in their last game, Minnesota did by Green Bay. Now, this could be a chance for the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers to get into the playoffs, depending on what happens with with um, as far as the um, Shadow and the game, Seattle and Rams game. So if Seattle loses and the Lions beat Green Bay, everybody knows this scenario by now. Everybody knows that the Lions will be in the playoffs. If Green Bay beats the Lions, then Green Bay will be in the playoffs. And that's just the way it is. Unfortunately, because of the time of the game, I'm not going to be able to go. I really wanted to go and see them live, but I do got to work Monday. So, because of the time of the game, I won't be able to go. But hey, so let's just go ahead and look at this though. I just want this game to be a game that's played and is won on the field. I don't want anybody to be bailed out by the referees. I don't want the Lions to be bailed out by the referees. And I sure as hell don't want the Green Bay Packers to be bailed out by the referees because we know how things go at Lambeau Field. We know, and especially on a main event game. I think the Lions are a better team than Green Bay. I think um, if they play up to their potential, they should be able to beat them handily. Uh, but we still gotta look at another thing is they cannot underestimate Green Bay though. I mean that's the worst thing that you can do is underestimate your opponent. So they can't underestimate Green Bay. They gotta go ahead and play Green Bay, play the hearts out, but they can't be afraid of Green Bay either because hell, we already beat Green Bay once this year. And no, that doesn't mean a whole lot as far as in every game is different. Uh, but it being for all tomorrows, and to tell you the truth, I don't truly care if the Lions go to the playoffs or not this year. All right, even so, I I want them to have a winning season. This is what I want. Now, if they go to the playoffs and win a playoff game or a couple playoffs games, that would be awesome because that's something we haven't seen in a long time. But I just want this team to keep getting better for the future because ultimately I want them to be good enough to contend in the playoffs and then in a few years contend for going to the Super Bowl and actually winning the Super Bowl. But so this is what I'm looking for. So hey, whether or not, whether or not um, the Rams beat the beat the Seahawks, that doesn't matter to me that much. Yes, it would be great to see the Lions be able to have this game go for where where it means a little bit more in the as far as for the playoffs. But hey, I don't care. I just want to see them beat Green Bay, and I want to see the Lions end with a winning record. I mean, yeah, 8-9 is not that bad compared to what they were last year. If and as far as for if the Rams end up losing, we do get like a top five pick where it would be top 10 pick or something if the Rams win because we get their first pick. Every line knows that. So the way I look at it, the way the Maniac looks at it is that this game, no matter what the Rams do, if the Rams win and they beat Seattle, it gives us a chance to go ahead and go into the playoffs. If the Rams lose and they end up, uh, if the Rams lose and we end up getting a better uh, draft choice from them because we hold their number one pick this year. Last year we got we held their draft pick and it was 32nd. We had to go ahead and trade in order to get trade with Green Bay in order to get Jameson Williams. But last year we had the 32nd overall pick because, of course, everybody knows the Rams won the Super Bowl. So, so you look at it, or this year in the draft, that if we get a top five pick, that can be a difference maker. Uh, so that's something that we gotta look at. So if we just gotta look at whatever the Rams do. It is a win-win situation for the Detroit Lions. Where if they end up losing, then it gives us a better draft pick, and if they end up winning, then it gives us a chance to beat Green Bay and not only have an undefeated season or not undefeated, well, undefeated season against Green Bay, um, having a winning season, which means a lot, and also you know a playoff berth with uh, Dan Campbell's second year in the as a head coach. So that's how we gotta look at things. We gotta look at things from a positive perspective, and going for and but the main thing the Lions need to do is the Lions need to beat Green Bay. That's no matter what happens, it's going to be on prime time to go ahead and defeat Green Bay at home in front of a national audience is big. And right now the Lions are like the hottest ticket that people want to see. The Lions could be the new favored as far as for could replace Green Bay as the little darlings of the NFC North. Except us being not the little darlings, the excited, roaring, stampeding Lions of the NFC North. So let's just go ahead and let's beat the Packers. Regardless of what happens with the St. Louis Rams, or not St. Louis Rams. Oh God, that's back a few years. The Los Angeles Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks. So if it's a win-win situation for, and we, hey, Baker Mayfield, he I was listening a little bit to Detroit Lions on Brow earlier today, and it's a lot of people have faith in Baker Mayfield, and he's they're trying to rebuild his career, his future. So who knows? He's going to try to ball out the best that he can to go ahead and to go ahead and have teams look at him and say, hey, listen, maybe what the Browns did to him was not the best. Maybe what the Colts did to him when they released him was not the best. So this is what so he's going to be trying to ball out and really try to get that number one job, and we all know he sometimes he has those mechanics to make it work. Now speaking of quarterbacks, Jared Goff has had a remarkable year this year. Jared Goff he has really showed up. Uh, uh, he has really led the team to be, you know, he deserves to be the quarterback right now. He deserves to be the starting quarterback. Um, he came from a system uh, that he was able to help Ben Johnson and him work together to build people around him. And we know we probably would have had more playoff wins, or more not playoff wins, more earlier wins if the defense would have been better. You cannot go ahead and those first that 1-6 start. You cannot blame most of that or hardly any of that onto Jared Goff because he had the he had the offense. Him and Ben Johnson had the offense clicking. So it was not that you know. Heck, when when the Eagles were at their prime, the Eagles only beat us by 3 points because the Lions came back. So if we would have had if the defense would have been playing like they are now, shoot, who knows? Who knows what could? So another thing that the Lions need to look forward to is, or what we need to look forward to is the way that they're building the Lions. Is they're building the team to try to make it sustainable to be a good team, not just this year, but years to come. In a league where you have salary caps, in a league where you have free agency, in a league where you have ungodly amounts of money being paid to players. If you want people to come to you, free agents to come to you, you gotta be a team that they want to go to. So they're building through the draft, trying to go ahead and make this a sustainable franchise and make this a good franchise. I believe Sheila Hemp cares more than a lot of the predecessors that she had, even her, even more than her father did. We all heard the rumors. We all heard the reason why William Clay Ford bought the Lions. We heard that, but then we seen what he did with them. We seen that he wasn't willing to put in the finances to bring this into the to bring it into the contendership. We looked more into systems that would make us winners. Like when we looked into the run and shoot rather than looking into the players. Yeah, we went ahead and had the best running back, Barry Sanders, at the time, but we didn't have, that was it. We didn't have the people surrounding him to go ahead and make. So the way Sheila is doing things, the way she has gotten Brad Holmes to go ahead and really try to turn this franchise around. Hey, and to me, one of the ways of doing it, one of the way of one of the ways of of getting to the point where you want to be is winning. Now, to me, it's big to beat Green Bay twice. So if the Lions end up beating Green Bay, whether or not they make it to the playoffs, if they beat Green Bay, you know, whether or not the Lions make it to the playoffs, it will mean that they had only lost one game to a divisional opponent. Now that's huge. And we all know how people thought the Packers were going to be when they started out. We all know before the season, but and we knew that Minnesota was starting to get up there too. Now, Minnesota, we almost beat them twice. They did beat us the first time, and I'm not saying they didn't deserve to beat us, but they did beat us the first time. But the second time, man, we beat them. We beat them. We had a healthier team. So Chicago gave us a run for the money the first game, and and it took them. It took all that they could to go ahead and try to beat us. But hey, they Chicago lost to us twice, of course. Hey, Grandizer 12, they call this getting kicked between the washing machine and dryer. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah. Okay, they call this getting between the washing machine and the dryer. Okay, yeah. But I, I just really want to see this. I just want to see them beat Green Bay. That's the most important thing to me is to see them beat Green Bay at Green Bay in a national stage on national TV, whether or not they go to the playoffs. Because what does it do? Number one, is it takes Green Bay's hope away, but it just shows us number one that we're better than Green Bay. Good. How are you? I am doing good. I'm doing good. It's a little tired, but I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be on. Uh I'm just kind of discussing about how I want us whether or not, the way I look at it, okay. I know in order for us to in order for the Lions to get in the playoffs, the Rams need to go ahead and beat the the Rams need to go ahead and beat the Seahawks. But the way I look at it, whatever the Rams do, it's a win-win for the Lions. If the Rams lose, all right, then the Lions can then it makes the game Sunday night uh, for playoff berth. But if the oh, okay, if the Rams lose, then it gives us a better draft choice. All right, but if the Seahawks win, then it gives us a better draft choice, a top 5 draft choice. So, and if the Seahawks lose, then it gives us a chance for the playoffs. So that's the way I'm looking at it, a win-win. Okay, yeah, sweep Green Bay. That's what I want us to do. I want us to sweep Green Bay. If the Lions sweep Green Bay, it means that The Lions will only have lost to one divisional opponent, and that would have been the Vikings at their home. So because we swept the Bears. All right. Okay. Day game weather forecast clear throughout the day. Yes. Little cold. Yeah. Little cold 29. Winds at 5 miles per hour. That's not too bad. The wind factor. All right. The line between the Packers favored by 4.5 over and under 48.5 via DraftKings. Yeah. I just want to prove them wrong. I don't, you know, Green Bay did great against against the Vikings. Yeah, they did. They did great. But you know what? They're not playing the Vikings. They're playing the Lions, and I do think that the Lions are a better team. Now, of course, I'm biased. I'll admit that I'm biased, but I do think that the Lions are a better team. Now, both teams are playing hot right now. Both teams beat their opponents by quite big scores. So, draft according to uh, Tankathon, Detroit Lions 8-8 currently drafting at 17 overall in the first round and of 2023 NFL draft count. Okay, yeah, and as it Los Angeles currently holds Los Angeles Rams 5-11 first round pick of the 2023 NFL. Okay. Also currently holds I just read that. Okay. What brings out the maniac in you? You know what brought out the maniac in me? The way we went ahead and devastated the Chicago Bears. That brought out the maniac in me. And what also brought out the maniac in me is seeing my friends, the Reardon family there, uh, Tim Reardon from work, another Tim, and I heard he was really being a maniac. And you know what? You will be proud of him because he had his two sons and his wife there, and he was singing the fight song. His youngest son, Jared, uh, that was first his first ever football game, and he went ahead and got to see the Lions devastate, devastate, dominate, open up the maniac, and destroy the Chicago Bears. So that brought out the maniac in me. I also got to see my friend Bernie, also that used to work. I got to talk to him. We talked 3 hours after the game about the Lions game. All right. And I was also at the field trying to sing whatever, sing the song too. So it was great. And I even mentioned it to Tim that, man, that you would have been happy the way he was singing that song. He told me his son probably thought that he was crazy, but he was going wild. He was just really being, and his wife is also like Val. His wife is a Bears fan, but I mean, it was great. Okay, forward down the field, a charging team that will not yield. And when the blue and silver wave, stand, cheer, be brave, rah, rah, rah. Go Lions, win the game. Yes, 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 yes. With honor, you will keep your fame down the field and gain Lions victory. Go Lions! Go Lions! Yeah, go Lions! Massacre your opponents. All right. They also have tied 7 times. Green Bay Packers lead this series 105 to 74. and 7. Yeah, but I just wonder. Okay, I'll tell you what. It should be at least only 104 because there is one game that Green Bay was given to them by the refs, and probably more than one. But the last Monday night game that Matthew Stafford was with, it took 4 blind-eyed refs calls to go ahead and give the win artificially to the Green Bay Packers. So in my eyes, that is only 104 wins, and the Lions should have 75 wins because that was not a win by Green Bay. They did not beat us. They were given that victory. That victory was stolen. No matter what, that I will never change my mind on that because I seen that. I witnessed it. It was at least 4 bad calls, 4 game-changing calls for them to go ahead and artificially defeat the Lions by 1 point. It was like a wrapped up gift. Here you go, Green Bay. That said, and yes, that brought out the maniac in me in a bad way. But they will never, that one, I will never give them credit for that win because they did not deserve it. Okay. Now, since I beat that with a maniac stick, all right. But thank you for the info. I do really appreciate it. Thank you for the info. But and I I just and okay. I gotta leave that. But um I think that overall, I mean, and there's been times that it's just the Lions didn't show up too. So I mean there's okay. Yeah, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching Tim's Maniac Sports. Please make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share the channel, and also leave your comments. I will try to make sure I get back to you. Also, leave comments at the end of the show. Tell your friends about it. Hey, this is a new year. This is this year has already started out great for the Lions by defeating the Chicago Bears on New Year's Day. Thank you very much. I do appreciate everybody's coming. No, I'm not ending this stream right now. I'm having too much fun. Uh, yeah, and once again, I do say congratulations to okay, Detroit Lions foam head. Yeah, I think I need to get a foam head. That would be great. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I see I got 3 people watching me on Tin Maniac Sports and 1 person watching me on Twitch. Thank you guys. Please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Please make sure you tell your friends and please make sure you just go ahead and enjoy your your day, well, actually night. We own the night. We are Tim's main exports, and I do want to hear. I mean, I do know Grandizer 12. He is a fan of a lot of sports. He is definitely a Dolphin fan. He is one of he's really active in a he's really knowledgeable in a lot of things. And 100% Dolphin fans, I definitely thank him for all his support and all the times he comes on to this show. So it's really great. Um, but in saying that, uh, man, it is really hard to believe that this this is the last regular season week. You know, it's just so hard to comprehend that this is the last regular season week. week 18. Now, I'll tell you what, in my opinion, I really think that you should have 18 games. To me, 17 games, I don't know. The oddballness, I don't know. I think you should have 18 games. That's just my opinion. I can understand why they don't, but it would be great. Okay, restore the roar, defend the den, go Lions. Definitely, definitely. We want to restore the roar. You know what? And we want to have menus. All right. Menus is, hey, we want to have some Packer on that menu. We had some bear on that menu, but we want to go ahead and have our bite be so much stronger than our bark that we just go ahead and rip the teams apart. Definitely. I mean, hey, what does a lion in the jungle do in order to go ahead and just become king? Hey, they just go ahead and tear apart their prey. And if they, I mean, yeah, I know the women are the hunters, but they they listen to and uh when they can't get it done, the lions go off, and the male lion will go ahead and rip apart those dang hyenas or whatever. Okay, pause up. Definitely. Roar. Roar. All right. Okay. Yeah, I actually did that before I even read it. Roar. Yeah. One thing, Val is banned from using my roar because she just cannot do it. But yeah, once again, we did. I mean, in speaking for all of us, Val included, Val, Vince, and myself, we enjoyed ourselves, even though the other two were Bears fans. It was their first game at their first professional game, so we all enjoyed, thanks to Dr. Detroit. You know, courtesy of him. We really appreciate, and I cannot thank you enough for that experience, and it was great. All right, be bold and mighty. Forces will come to your aid. Jonathan Wolfgang von Get the One Pride. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, we just the Lions just got to go ahead and just open up, like I say, open up a can of Maniac. You know, just open it up. Just go ahead and open it up. Release the beast. And just go ahead and tear apart. And you know what? When you're going ahead and you're tackling that other quarterback, or going ahead and ripping through the other's defensive line, or or uh, going ahead and throwing that pass down the field, whatever it is that the Lions do, just go ahead and do it with pride, do it with the determination, and just go ahead. And if somebody tries to grab you, rip, just go ahead and throw them to the ground and roar when you do it. Because, hey, boldness. This is a man's game. This is a game, you know, is this is not a contact sport. Not at all. Okay. This is a collision sport. And you know what? This is a collision sport. So you got to be bold when you're going up against all those other guys that's going ahead and trying to hit you, or you're trying to hit the other guy that's trying to go ahead and run through your line. You're going to go ahead and collide, and you're going to, hey, there's no way you're not going to have pain. You know, You're going to feel it in the morning. You're going to feel it afterwards, So, and if you don't feel it right now, you're going to feel it way later down the road because this is a collision sport. And, I mean, unfortunately, people get hurt. I mean, what happened on Monday Night Football, our prayers are still with them. But, hey, this is a collision sport. Uh, So we just really want to go ahead and release the beast, especially when it's against like a rivalry team against like the Packers. And you know what you got to do? If the Lions go ahead and if the Lions go ahead and actually make it into the playoffs, not only do they got to play with the intensity that they did to beat the Packers, they got to play a step higher when you get into those playoffs. Because we have seen it before where you do not if you don't step it up in the playoffs, you're not going to last in the playoffs. So yes, you got to go ahead and be bold, be strong, and step it up another level once you get there. All right. Maniac Center, aka the insane asylum. Yes, that for sure. Yeah, and you know what? Lots of hot tubs in there, and ice tubs, and whatever you need. Because hey, if you end up colliding with a lot of people and stuff like that, you're going to need something to go ahead and enjoy after, because I'll tell you, you put the work in, you collide, you need something to go ahead and help your body get back to normal. But you know what? When you're on that field, you gotta lay it all out. That's what you just gotta lay it all out. I mean, it's just it. And you know what? When you're a fan, there's something wrong. There's something very, very wrong if you end up having a totally clear voice right after the game. Because hey, I mean, I was not sitting down very much during that game. I was standing up, I was cheering, I was doing everything I could to root and celebrate during that game. All right, Maniac Sports, get off my lawn. Oh, I don't want to. I just want to chew up your lawn. Oh gosh. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'll just bring back my pride of lines, and we'll see what's left off your lawn. But yeah, they're peeking there. Yeah, I know. LOL. Yep. Oh God. You know what? I was saying I don't really care if the Lions make the playoffs, but you know what? That's kind of I want to see them make it. I, I do, because I want to see what they can do, and I want to see them step. Could you imagine? Could you imagine how it will be if the Lions make the playoffs and they win a playoff game with Derek Goff's first year? Can you imagine that? I mean, the only other person, that can say that, you know, is Eric Kramer. I mean, um, God, I can't think of it. Scott Mitchell couldn't say that. Rodney P couldn't say that. You know, yeah. Now, of course, Bobby Lang and Audie, real old timers. They could say that, but not since the Super Bowl. These people could not say that, especially in the second year. You know, can you imagine if Jared Goff is able to get the Lions? Lead the Lions. I mean, it's not only Jared Goff by himself, but lead the Lions to a playoff victory in his, in his first or second season as the Lion. And also with Ben Johnson, his first year as an offensive coordinator for the Lions. I mean, can you imagine? Could you imagine the excitement? Could you imagine the thrill? Because that would get that darn monkey off the back. You know, winning that playoff game would get and talking about respect. Well, you know what? We don't only want to win one. We want to win a few of them. Yeah. I mean, and that's when you can tell you have arrived. That is when you can tell. Because when you go from beating your number, one thing that will be nice, okay? Because we've been in this scenario before, all right. So where it was where we played in Green Bay like the game before, the last game of the season, but that time it was for the NFC North title. Green Bay won. We ended up uh, needing to go to Dallas, and everybody knows how that one went at Dallas, the goaltending goal and all this other stuff. But but one thing nice about this is that whoever doesn't whoever doesn't win is not going to the playoffs. You know, so if we beat Green Bay, we're not going to have to see them in the playoffs. We'll need to see Minnesota in the playoffs, maybe, more than likely. But okay, yeah, Lions news. It's us or nobody. Lions have one objective against the Packers. Sports Illustrated. Yep, that's for sure. Yes, yes. Tim was there. Yeah, and that's true. The Lions have one. It's just go ahead. It's us or them. It's us. It's us or nobody. Excuse me. It's yeah. And you know what? I mean, that's the way you gotta be. You know, you cannot. You cannot say, oh God, oh God, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm playing the Packers. Oh my God, we're gonna lose. No. That's not the way you win. I mean, that's cowardly. You know, like Ric Flair used to say, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. All right? So, in order to be that team, you got to beat that team. That's the way I feel. All right. Lions news. Detroit Lions notebook. Jared Goff experience can help beat the Packers. For sure. For sure. Detroit news. Yeah. Yep. For sure. Because yeah, his experience. I mean, you know, if you look at what Jared Goff was looking like last year, I mean, I'll tell you what, hardly anybody wanted him on on the Lions team. But look what a year that changed when he had weapons. Yeah, he had St. Brown last year, but we did not last year until later in the season. You did not know what St. Brown was. You didn't know. So they were stripped down in talent as far as receivers and stuff like that. We had Reynolds where things started to pick up later on. But at the first part of the year, Jared Goff was really struggling. He was throwing in a bad situation. But this year, he has redeemed himself. This year, he has, they gave him what he needed. They gave him what he needed. They got the weapons that he needed. And he went ahead and, like I say, you know, it wasn't his fault. We went 1-6 at the beginning because the offense was hot, especially those first few games. The offense was not the one that lost those first 3 to 4 games. There was a couple games where we slowed down, but the Lions were the number one ranked offense, and it wasn't only running; it was also the passing of Jared Goff too. So I mean, and he progressed. So shoot, Jared Goff's leadership, and plus he's has won playoff games before. He has went to Super Bowl before. I mean, this is not a knock against Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford fans, it is not. Believe me. All right. It's not. Stafford was and is a great quarterback. It was not. You know, so please don't get me wrong. But this Jared, and we've been in playoffs with Matthew Stafford too. But Jared Goff is my quarterback now. Jared Goff is a man that's getting it done right now. Jared Goff is the Lions quarterback, and it's actually paying dividends to have him as a quarterback. A lot of people didn't give him a lot of chance, when he came over. But you know what? He's proven it. He's proven himself. You know? And what will that mean? What will that mean with his experience to go ahead and bring us and go ahead and lead us to our first playoff game win since Eric Kramer was the quarterback and we had to run and shoot? What will that mean? That will be huge. That will be huge. That is a huge step, you know. And it's also is going to put I mean, the Lions are already in the limelight. You know, I mean, hey, they could have went ahead and after that Carolina debacle, well, I'm not pronouncing it exactly right, but after going ahead and getting spanked by Carolina, ripped apart by a much smaller cat, which they never should have done. But okay. Yes, I know I'm talking a lot. All right. Lions news. Excitement for prime time. Packers test with playoffs. Hope still alive. ESPN. It was and you know what? What better could it be too? The Packers. This means the Packers playoffs hopes is alive. So that just means that when the Lions beat them, okay, when the Lions beat them at Lambeau Field, people cannot say, well, it wasn't that the Lions had more to win than the Packers. No, Packers, if they win, their playoff hopes are still alive too. So it's really means a lot for them to win too. And you know what? If our playoff hopes are not alive at the time, and the Packers playoff hopes are still alive at game time, and the Lions still come up and beat them, that is even huger because then it just shows how much more superior the Lions are than the weekend Packers. All right, Lions news. Detroit Lions Dan Campbell is busting with excitement. is bursting with excitement. Teaching his team is a critical lesson. Detroit Free Press and Tim was there. Yeah, God, yes, definitely, for sure. All right, the Lions began the season 1-6. Yep, the Packers were 4-8 when December started. Now, if the Rams beat the Seahawks this Sunday, the final game of the NFL regular season will determine the final playoff spot in the NFC North. Yep, for sure. So, and like I was saying earlier, it's not going to be all. I'm not gonna. I I want the Rams to beat the Seahawks. Okay, I definitely want the Rams to beat the Seahawks because I do want that chance. But I'm also going to look at the bright side. Even if the Rams do lose to the Seahawks, it just gives us a better draft choice. That's all it does. It gives us a top five pick, is what I was told. So if that were, it would be top 12 pick. If what top 12, but the top five pick. Yeah, that's pretty good too, and that kind of helps us in the future. But getting into the playoffs and winning a playoff game and stuff like that, and beating Green Bay, our arch rival, you know, being that team, to me, I gotta say is more important. Going ahead and beating Green Bay to get into the playoffs. Hey, it shows that it just shows that it shows the improvement, the drive, the desire, and also the maturity that is coming in this group of people. When you feel, when you don't fear your opponent, all right? Now, don't take him for granted, but don't fear your opponent. Because if you fear and there's still Lions fans. There was a guy at work. I'm not even sure of his name, but this was even before the Carolina game, and he told me, "Oh yeah, Lions are going to beat every game, but when it comes to Packers, no chance." No, it's not like that. Packers are not what they were before. Okay, all right. I love if the Lions get into the playoffs. They face Tampa, beat them, then beat the Vikings, and play the Eagles for a revenge game. Yes, that that would be awesome. Now I'll tell you what would probably happen though, because the Lions being the seventh seed, I think they would probably end up playing the Vikings first, because it's you're them being the lowest seed, and if the Vikings are the highest seed. So, but of course, if the Eagles end up losing, there's still some scenario that I heard where Dallas could, if the right teams win and stuff like that, Dallas could end up being the one with the bye if they win and the right teams lose and all this other stuff. I didn't hear too much of that. I was half asleep when I heard when they were talking about it, but I know it's a long shot for Dallas to get that bye, but it could happen. Eagles, I know the Eagles got to win in order to get that bye. You know, but yeah, and you know what? You know what would be? Hey, I'll tell you what. Okay, what if? What if the Lions actually go on a winning streak and win like you know the next 4 games? I mean, that'd be awesome because that's a Super Bowl. and, you know, and it's not gonna be easy and a lot of and but heck, if they go on a 4 game winning streak, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm opening up the Kool-Aid a little bit, and drinking that a little bit, but I would love to see that. Oh yeah. Okay. Lions dude. 3 key matchups for the Detroit Lions versus Green Bay Packers in Week 18 sideline report. Tim was there. Yeah, there. Okay, and I mean one thing for sure is DeAndre Swift and okay matchup. The Frank Lions center Frank Ragnow versus the Packers Kenny Clark. Wow, and we all know Frank Ragnow. He's oh God, he's yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Matchup number 2. Wide receiver DJ Chark versus Packers cornerback uh Gerard Davis. Or Gerard Alexander. I don't know how he said Davis. I sure didn't read that. Um yeah. And I'll tell you, hey, he DJ Shark had a few catches last time. All right. Lions matchup number 3. Okay, Jerry Jacobs and Mike Hughes versus Packers wide receiver Christian Watson. Oh yeah, shut him down. Shut him down. Shut him down, and what? Also go ahead and kind of sack Aaron Rodgers. It'd be great for Hutchinson to just go ahead and sack him a couple times, and maybe get another interception from Aaron Rodgers. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? What? Yeah, I know. I'm adding a little bit of Kool Aid here too, but sometimes Kool Aid can help. Okay, but yeah, those matchups, man, that would be that will be great. This game is going to be awesome, awesome, awesome. You know, yeah. All right, and good teams. Yeah, and see that's what the Lions are becoming. Okay, good teams will go ahead and into the other people's stadiums will go ahead and win. And it isn't like the Packers. It isn't like the Packers haven't lost to Detroit at home before because they have. You know they have lost to Detroit at Lambeau Field before. It's been a while. Okay, it's been a few years. You know, so who do the Dolphins play next week or last week? Just curious. Okay. Kool Aid retired the Grain Jungle. Kool Aid flavored after Jim Jones incident. Oh no. uh, yeah. Blue Kool Aid. Jets this week. That's that's a winnable game though. For- So is it at the Jets or is it at Miami? Oh, shoot, I'm starting to get tired. uh, so, all right. Now, uh, I do gotta say this, even though I'm all for the hitting and everything like that. I don't really want to see anybody seriously. Is at Miami. Okay, great, great, yeah, and so that weather is going to be good. Hopefully, Tua doesn't throw as many. Is Tua playing? Because hopefully there's not as many interceptions as what it was with Green Bay. You know, I God, okay. Time for me to get some coffee and wake my ass up, huh? Oh, excuse the language that slipped. Sorry. Okay, all aboard. It's sleepy time. Yeah, yeah. No Tua. Okay. Yeah, I knew I did hear something about concussion and stuff. Yeah. Who's the backup quarterback then? I'm sorry, I should be up on that, but now if and yeah, welcome to Tim's Maniac Sports, and yeah, please everybody tell your friends about it. Yeah, and also make sure you guys leave comments, and I really want to thank everybody for being there. Oh, Teddy Bridgewater. Okay, yeah, yeah. And I remember when Teddy Bridgewater was played way back when he played for the Vikings, and him and Foles went at it for the to go to the Super Bowl. So Teddy Bridgewater's no kickover, that's for sure. Um, all right, okay. So I don't know. Final thoughts. Hey, yeah. As we know, football. There's this is a sport that is played definitely a collision sports. We really want to. Um, we just really want to see people, you know, come home, not too injured and stuff like that. But uh, and I'm I'm failing big time. But um, we wish the best. The Lions fans, there's a lot of us that are really at that point where hey, let's just get it done. Let's beat the Packers. I mean, I, I still see where there's uneasiness, because it is the Packers. And hey, I can't blame people for that. Uh, you know, they're another team. They're they've been great in the past. Okay, this year not so much. All right, this is one of the years I feel they are beatable. Yeah, Lions need to go up. They need to go out and they need to play their A game. They need to go up and just win those key matchups. Score, stop them, control the ball, control the time of possession, um, score often, score quickly. Uh, Never, because one thing we have seen, the Packers are a comeback team. You know, and one thing for sure is that Jared Goff has been doing good as far as not turning over the ball so much. You win the turnover battle. You you more or less can win the game. Execution, the way you execute plays. You know, it's our our running our running back. DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. You know that tandem in itself is something. DJ Shark, Amon St. Brown, Williams, Jameson Williams. You know, then you have Houston. You know, we have as far as for rookies. Okay, and this is one thing that our rookies are. We have two of the best rookies that have the most amount of sacks per rookies, and that is Aiden Hutchinson and of course Houston. You know, and Houston, sure he's a bit behind Aiden Hutchinson as far as for sacks, but he's only been playing since Thanksgiving, and you know there's these sacks, these yeah, it just shows that you know that Brad Holmes does know how to pick and how to draft. So hey, they need big games. Angelone needs big games, a big game too. Uh, you know, and of course control that line of scrimmage, push back, don't hold, keep those penalties down. You know, that's those are other ways to win. You know, keep those penalties down. And make friends with the refs. You know, that's don't give the refs reasons to be mad at you. You know, that's one thing too. You know, don't do that because you know refs are human too. So you know, don't give them reasons to be mad at you. You know, hey, thank them for the game against the Packers last time. Thank them for the right way. You know, but no, but and that was a little bit of joking, but just hey, respect is what this team is earning and is building up. And one of the things that will get you respect is wins. And when you win games that are noted as being hard, when you win games, you know, I don't I don't you know if I look at it, okay, who's a better team as far as uh I I already said I think the Lions are the better team, but also if you look at some of the teams in the playoffs, some of the teams in the playoffs are more scarier than to me than the Packers. But hey, even those teams are weak. Hey, Tom Brady's team is weak. You know, it's not it's you know they're starting to you know this last game they had was great, but you know I mean hey they and then they're getting into the playoffs with a losing record. You know, that's not typical for a Brady team, you know. And I'll tell you what, if in some ways, and I mean, if the NFL were to go ahead and just go by seeding as far as instead of giving you know like the NBA does. You know, you don't really have the divisions anymore, the division winners that make it. You have, you know, it goes by your record as far as in getting in there. So, you know, if you look at, uh, does anybody in the NFC South really deserve to be in it with a losing record? Now, granted, they ain't been the only, they ain't been the only division that has ever entered the playoffs with a losing record because a few years back, uh, few years back, you had the oh um, freaking NFC East that had a losing record and they still made it. But in saying that, I'm just gonna thank you guys for watching. Uh Thank you, Grandizer 12, for everything. And I definitely got to get some rest. Go Lions, one pride.